This is Elizabeth Wood, and I'm really excited to invite you to a very special New Earth Conversation series that will be ongoing indefinitely. And it's for 12 Stars Publishing and our special learning collective that we've created. And everyone is a teacher, everyone is a student, everyone has something they love that they can talk about. And today we get to speak to my friend Flower Diamond, who is a poet and a mystic. And welcome so much to bring your beautiful love of writing to the table. Flower Diamond is teaching a special series, a class called Purge, Merge, Listen, and Write. And I'm really thrilled because she and I were talking beforehand, before we did our recording here, about this process. And it's so different than anyone ought to expect when it comes to writing. And so first, I just thank you so much, Flower, for all of your love and your beautiful mystical information you're going to bring to us today.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
So let's jump in. I want to talk about first, what is writing exactly? And the way you defined it is unlike anything I've ever even imagined, really. I come from such a left brain, like academic writing, as boring as you can possibly make it, basically. But this is not the kind of way you see writing. Tell us what you see. What do you see about what is writing?
In my experience, writing is listening to the relationship that you have with your story. You're just making friends with your story and having a nice cup of tea at the table. Your story's on the other side, you're on one side, and you're going to have a conversation. And at one point, you might drink too much caffeine and it might get a little crazy. But it's pretty simple. It's very simple.
And the way that you walk through life is very, it is what I would define as mysticism, where you're noticing all of the relationships you have with people, places, objects, beings, birds, things on the ground. And what you said about that was so special. It was that it might look like a bird or a chair, but it's not. It's much, much more than that. Can you describe that a little bit?
I'm going to use a poem, but just this is I wrote. I know this information because I have spoken to water. I've listened to water, and the first poem about water, which I just read a minute ago, which inspired this, it's called "Water in a Glass." So this water that so humbly sits in front of me, she'll tell me its story, for it has so much to tell. So we're just sitting with our experience that knows a little bit more than we do about us. In fact, water knows everything about us. Just you've talked about this a lot. It knows our whole history. It's recorded everything we've said. It's watched everything we've done. It knows everything about us. So if you sit down with a glass of water, it'll tell you what your neighbors did. It'll tell you what your family did 2,000 years ago. It's all there. I can just leave right now. You can just have a glass of water with you and, write the Encyclopedia Britannica if you wanted to. So it's my relationship with the story, and you listen to that relationship, and that's it. You write it down.
So it's the art of listening, really. And one of the things I notice about the way that you listen is that you're out of the way entirely. You're not driving the narrative. You're moving out of the way so that the layers and layers of possibility get to be seen and heard and felt. And then sometimes then that turns into words. And does that sort of describe that process of listening?
Yes, it is. And it's your inner voice within. It's in the beginning for me, it sounded like it was outside of me, but over the years I've embodied it. And so it's all just me talking to myself.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
accessing that Glass of Waters archive. I'm going into the Waters library.
Mhm.
And then I just listen. I go in, listen, and there it is. I don't really think at all. It's one word at a time. There's not a lot of planning. I do know some people need to plan, so we'll address that too. But that's when you're kind of, in your words, zooming in and zooming out. So you can zoom into the story, listen to the details, zoom out, look at it listen to it as you're sitting at a table with all the chapters are people, and kind of get consensus. So it's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you can listen to it and ask it what it wants, from all the details, even into the business aspect of it. You can ask the book when it's completed, what do you want for your cover? So that's the beauty. You don't have to think. You just listen and follow orders, and that's it.
Yeah, I love that. And for me, who is one of those people who, tries to be precision level organized, and this is so refreshing because then I don't have to use my brain mind so brutally. It's from the heart. It's a different feeling to the process. Now, one of the ways you described writing is as that it's movement. And would you show people what you showed me? What is writing? And you put this great physical metaphor for it.
Yeah, Elizabeth asked me what was writing, and I said, okay, I'll show you. So this is a rainbow spinner. You can see that. And so I said, this is writing. Oops. Whoa, there we go. Whoops. That's writing. This is all it is. It's your spinner isn't doing anything, or if it was stuck, it's stuck. But then all you do is you move it. That's it. That's writing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And is it really physical for you? Do you have like a sensory experience? Or is it in the heart or in the imagination, all the above?
I think it'll be different for everybody because we all come from different lineages and we all have a different relationship, even with the same thing. For me, it is, I kind of drop from the head into the heart. And then I listen. It is helpful not to have noise. I like quiet. I have written poetry with like boombox, right? I like to test it out, like a little kid stretches their body. So but you no matter where you are, there's that quiet part of you. You can listen wherever you are, no matter what is happening. You have that inner connection, relationship with yourself to listen. So yeah, I can it can be physical. I can get antsy waiting for the next word. Sometimes I do breathing to help me get to the next word because, I don't really do, that's why in the class, part of the class is we will be mailing people a snail mail book bag, which will include this. This comes with the book bag that I'm shipping out to everybody. Essential. This is an essential tool for writing. So, if you're stuck, spin the rainbow spinner on your paper. In fact, even before you write on a piece of paper, take the rainbow spinner and spin it on the paper before you even start, because we're just moving. We don't know what's decided to take a nap on that paper before we start. We can't see it, but something might be there that needs to be cleared away. And then you begin to listen to what you want to write. A lot of times I'll be teaching poetry first, and we'll learn how to make little books first. And then you'll see how quickly you'll begin to have this relationship with you that understands what you want to say and to write it down.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Okay.
It's much easier when I'm writing stuff down than talking about it. I don't have a place to land.
Okay, it's all good. We're flying together. I got you.
Got it.
So, you can be the left wing, I'll be the right wing.
Okay.
What are some of the other essential tools that come up for writing, especially?
One tool I use a lot is which I have going on. I use sand timers. They're not for timing me. They're for moving. So I always have one of these guys going because it's just moving, because writing is moving. So I have them all over the house. I have another one here that's just going.
Oh, that is too cool.
This has a lemon on it. I have now this one has run out, so I will just turn it over, and then we have another one. They're all over the house. It's just to keep moving. There's no time. I have fun when I write. It's play, because it's all about having a relationship with your muse, with a part of you that wants to play and writes and knows everything about you. And so your muse, how I like to put it, it has been sitting on the couch watching TV, eating potato chips, probably, maybe for some people, your whole lifetime. And then one day you decide, I'm going to write a book. So you get your computer, get everything, you knock on the front door, and you say, hey, wake up, we're going to write a book. Your muse is going to be like, give you the middle finger and say, roll over and go to sleep. So these essential writing tools are like, hi, muse, you want to come out and play? Let's play. And then they might open it. It's kind of like working with a teenager, maybe. So to get that relationship where you're going to be having a conversation and listening, there is going to have to be, you're going to have to learn how to loosen up, let go, and to be able to play and hear the words that the world is trying to tell you. To hear the trees, to hear a poem from the trees, to hear it, to have your story, have your history. I mean, we are history. We're walking around history books. That's it. When we're moving, we're free. Most of the time, we're just history. That's all that data, right? So you want to open the book, dust it off, and find the parts that are relevant that we can share with somebody else. And word by word. And it's fun.
Yeah, and you mentioned that too. Writing poetry, it was word by word. And that you would create this forgetting of the other words, and you would focus in on and now what word wants to come in. It doesn't matter what other words are on the page. Now what word wants to come in, and you wait until it comes. You wait, you might squirm a little and dance around, eat a snack. And then the word would come, and it would eventually show up. And you did this for a huge project, right? Your 1,000 poems about water, correct? You wrote 1,000 poems this way.
I wrote 2,000 poems this
Oh my
way.
goodness, yes.
Yeah, I have proof. I brought them with me. I knew people would want to see. I know I'm not quite sounding, I hope people know the class will be a little more organized than how I am today. But yeah, this is 2,000 poems about water that I wrote word by word, which meant in my mind, I said, I'm only going to listen to divinity, my highest self. I'm not going to bring in my BS. I'm not going to think, basically, I'm not going to think what the next word's going to be. I'm going to listen to inspiration. So that's what I did. So I'm listening to inspiration, and it came word by word. And each poem is done word by word. So the first poem was about a glass of water. So I would write on the top, a glass of water. It seems so mundane, but I love the mundane because you can learn so much from it. And then I just wait for the first word. I just have my pen, I would just have my pen on the page, literally just waiting like a race car, just, and then I get a word. Sometimes you get a little phrase, and I would write a word, forget what the other two words were, keep going, do another line, a couple more words, get frustrated, get anxious, go, why am I doing this? This is stupid, write a couple more words, and then all of a sudden you just feel it in your body that the poem is done. And that's what I did. And yeah. And then sometimes a poem would go crazy, and it would go down a whole page, and then it'd be the side, and like I didn't have enough room, and then it would be done. Like they're people, their energy, they're working. I am having a relationship with this poem, and we're just working together, wiggling out the message. And that's what is resonating with people. And that's why I'm here with you. Because I listened to my highest self, and it wasn't just listening to divinity, it's embodying it. It's bringing your whole soul together as one, and it's a full body experience. And so a lot of times the biggest thing I get from people reading my poems is that they cry. How do you get someone to cry? I'm not trying. I am just listening word for word. And because of that, even though it's slow, it resonates. It has its own power. The poems are their own being. And I just write poems to people sometimes. They're great icebreakers.
And they heal. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they heal. Yeah. Did you say heal or help or?
All the above.
Yeah, I've had people say they were medicine. But yeah, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. So my question that I've been asking was, first of all, I never thought I would be teaching how to write. Until you guys came forward and said, hey, why don't you teach a class? I'm like, what? I can't teach writing. Like that just came naturally. Like, I don't know. So the first thing I did with that question was listen, what's the answer to this? And then the answer was just share how you do it. I said, okay. And then every time I have a question about how am I gonna get people to where I am, I will get an answer. Oh, like there's these great bookmarks we'll have, and all kinds of fun stuff. And it's really it's a matter of listening to yourself. I wish it was more complicated. But that's why we have the toys and the spinners, and we have the the sand glasses and other things. I won't give away everything.
Yes.
And that's really it. You're just hanging out with yourself and listening and writing, and you can use that same process with everything in your life.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Now, in the class title is the word purge. And I was noticing when we got on, myself doing a little purging. But I wanted to look at that word together, and then after that, let's talk a little bit about the structure of the class. But what is purging and merging exactly for you?
I think when I'm working on a poem, purging is really connecting to that which you're going to write. So if you had a bad experience, or if I'm relating to somebody who is going through something, what is my relationship to that? I am purging. So, I'm feeling it. This is kind of where the body thing comes from, or even the intellectual. I'm merging with what is happening right now with this person. I mean, purging. That's the purge. You could write down 100-page, you could write down your feelings. That's also purging. But me, I'm able to do it very quickly now because I've been writing for 10 years now. But it's everything that you're experiencing right now. And because poetry is everything at once. And so this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm breathing in, and if I say someone is talking about a bad experience they're having, that's the purging, but we're sharing it. That's my experience. And I can take one word out of that, and then I can write a poem and listen. And then we're kind of merging, listening to it. It all happens at the same time. Mm-hmm. Purge, merge, listen, and write. It happens very fast. It's the spinning rainbow spinner. It's just very quickly. So it's not like we're going to purge for 10 minutes and then we're going to merge for 10 minutes, right? No, it's all happening at one time.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because for me, like the way I teach would be like, now we will spend an entire day. But this is the creative process. It's not the left brain process.
No, it's very fast. Just like mystics, they're fast. Divinity is fast. When you put a request out, it comes immediately. And it's like, wait, don't I need to light a candle? Do a ceremony? No, it's done. You don't have to go back. That is an old way. This is new. This is you're doing it all at the same time.
That's super cool.
So it's very fast, and that's why you get answers very fast. Once you work with your muse who's been sitting on the couch for centuries and care for them, they like a lot of stuff. They like snacks. And also I know people talk about blocks, and we'll go, I will have a very pinpoint, bullet pointed course, of course. But, some of our blocks is like, you were supposed to pay your electric bill. That's why you're not going to sit and write for 10 hours. There's things you know, that your muse is trying to tell you. It's like, no, you gotta, you know, did you turn the hose off in the back? You know, there's some very practical things of why sometimes we're blocked. So, you know, we have to stay grounded and balanced in our lives. And, you know, did you leave the ice cream in the car when you came home? Kind of stuff like that, which I would never do. I would probably put that in, balance it on my head to get home. But, you know, blocks aren't as serious as you think they are. We take everything so seriously. So
although people can get, and this is like, this is the hard part for me, because I take it too dang seriously, and learning how to be more playful about it. And you know, those of you who are worried this won't be structured, that's the opposite of what's happening. It is structured. It's just that what we want you to get a sense of in this connection to Flower Diamond and her heart and her mind and the way she works is that you're going to be invited to play. You're being invited to play with someone who has discovered a way to create and get things done through play, which is so different than, say, my way of teaching, which is very academic and precise. In this, you'll get that part of it, in that Flower's going to teach you really specific things and address topics that are important to writers, like blocks. But this is playtime. This is the fun house of life, and coming into it and saying, this movement called writing is my dance, and I'm going to dance with my muse, and I'm going to entice this part of me out. And, you know, for me, it would be dragging her out of the lecture hall.
oh.
Come on, you can't live in there forever, writing things on your big, huge dry erase board, trying to teach people how to solve the world's problems. That would be my muse. I mean, I can see her very clearly and how she would be like, you know, fight me on that. And when I try to write a poem, like last night, I wrote a poem for that I do a little temple series on our online community called The Circle. And every once in a while, I'll want to do a temple, and I'll find a beautiful picture. I'll find a word first, and the word was expectations.
Yes.
Found the word first. The word came to me and said, "Hey, I'd like you to listen to me." And so I'm applying what you're today, right now, to what I did last night. But here's where I got tripped up, is because I wanted it to rhyme. So I had to think about, well, how bad do I really want this to rhyme? And does it have to fall into any like pentameters, iambic, whatever's? No, I just want the last words to rhyme. So although the flow isn't like perfect in my academic left brain muse self world, I did get it to rhyme to make her happy. But it was hard. And it was hard because I did really want to listen to the flow of it. The outcome of it was about letting go of outcomes, ironically, and being willing to enjoy the spontaneity of the moment, being willing to enjoy what has unfolded beyond the expectations. And so I would not call myself a poet, but sometimes this desire to dip my toe in the playful end of the pool shows up, and being around someone who is not just a poet but a mystic, and this is what I'm speaking to everyone's hearts here. When you're around someone who's a mystic, you're absorbing their mysticism. You're absorbing their way that they've discovered to let go of the sides of the river and go with the flow. You absorb it. You can't just learn it with your left brain. You've got to hang out with mystics to be a mystic. And so, although I'm a very left brain mystic, ironically, Flower Diamond is not. And because I've hung out with Flower Diamond and read enough of her poems, I can actually relax and begin to write poems, even though my left brain wants them to rhyme. And I can actually do that now. Whereas, and I feel like I had it at one point, like I could do that at one point as a teenager. I have books full of old poetry from when I was a kid. And I stopped doing it because I became an academic, and it needed to not just, it had a whole lot of, it wasn't just one box, man. It was like 20 boxes all the way down to this little bitty box that you had to get what you were creating to fit into. It had to fit exactly perfectly into all of these nesting boxes, each one. And then the little bitty box was your final writing. And it had, Chicago style, it had to have all the different, quotes perfectly done, and each comma in the exact right place. So I'm like undoing myself from these boxes. And like one of my last ones is poems have to rhyme, you know? So I want people to know I'm learning from Flower too, and I couldn't be here, nor could this learning collective, nor could the publishing company exist without her. Because it's true. Because she showed me that it's true. You can talk to a book,
yeah,
and say, hey book, what do you want? Do you want a copyright? Do you want an ISBN code or not? Do you want to be an ebook, or do you want to be a poem? Do you want to be a in print physical book that people can play with and carry with them in their backpack and never read, but just carry it with them? Like, I mean, it's true. You can. And every creation that you're going to create with Flower Diamond, you're going to have a relationship with it. But it will have been born of a different relationship, a relationship perhaps with a word, like yesterday for me, or an object, or a memory, or a feeling, or anything. It's a food. It's anything, and that's why the spinner is perfect, because it brings in everything all at once. It's the rainbow spinner. It's all the frequencies are available, and the right one who wants to come out to play. When you listen, you'll be able to find it. So that's what I'm seeing is why this is so important, not for everybody to get hung up on structure and wanting to have structure, which you'll get your structure satisfaction. But be prepared to play and absorb from a mystic who's going to see things and notice things in ways that you've never imagined. And then that's where then you get to access true imagination. And that's what I wanted to share about what I've learned from you, Flower Diamond, and why people, I think, will enjoy this so much, and to meet regularly too. It's 6 weeks, is that right?
Yeah, yeah. When you were speaking, all I could think of was, all the books are built from love. You're just building from love, and that's this. It's the blank page. This is love, and we're building on that. And this is love. And then you put the rainbow spinner on it, and anything is possible. It's just so beautiful. And I was looking at that book and just like, oh, the book was like, somebody's listening to me. Like when we don't feel like anyone's listening to us, our story, uh, if your story was your family, a family member, and you said, hey, you got to get out there and make me some money. Or, I'm going to put you out there in front of all these people and, force you to, expose yourself to the world, or I'm going to give you a scary title or whatever, the book's going to be like, what? You really have to know they're almost like plants. I guess maybe someone could understand that. A plant, talk to a plant or an animal. We're going to have some pretty fun ways of identifying as our stories as people. I have some fun stickers. We're going to have stickers. I'm sending out a book bag that has all of our essential writing supplies on them.
And they're not like you're thinking, people. Just drop all your expectations.
It's not gonna be what you think. It's fun because I love office supplies. Because we're nurturing ourselves too. You're so brave to want to write and share your story. You are the hero. And you went out there and you found the fire, brought it back, maybe even started the bonfire in your community. But there's still more to do. What happens next? The hero writes the book of it, so someone else can go and find something else to bring back. And the people that are connected with you, Elizabeth, we're all from different lineages, and we have fire, water, winds. Some of us are connected. I'm connected, my lineage, from the very beginning, and this is why I think I'm part of the beginning of your project here, is my lineage came to this planet. Everything was there, right? They had the ocean, the sky, everything. And I saw a picture of, maybe me or my lineage, our hands were on our hips and looking around and saying, nothing's moving yet. Right? And so my lineage did that first movement, that first breath, gently fanned all this. Very gentle fan. And I'm here again, it's my responsibility to move and keep it moving. We don't want to get stuck here. So, we all have these, I've come back, came back to keep us moving.
Yeah.
And some of our parts of our souls are kind of mad at us, I would say. Or we've knocked on the door several times and we didn't really follow through. So they're like, well, I don't know. I like this TV show. I like my potato chips, so it's a little bit of, that's why I have on the poster is 0 expectations. And the 0 is a blank sheet of paper as well. And I loved your poems about expectation. I thought it was so beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes.
Like
It was, and we're just talking to ourselves. And again, even whatever you're writing, whether it's a journal, a song, a dissertation, marketing, even marketing has feelings. Marketing you have with marketing knows when you're lying.
It's true.
And it's, it's gonna, businesses tattle to mystics. A business will tell a mystic what's going on with the company. You can't, everyone's afraid of their identity being stolen or being listened to, but everything's talking. you know, um, everything's revealing secrets. So, you know, if you can look at whatever whether it's a business project or a personal project, if you develop that relationship with it, you can edit it in a way that speaks the truth, in a way that your boss is okay with, and it's just not so caustic it's going to hurt other people.
Right.
And it also, I think, if you are a business person and you learn how to listen to your marketing or a boring lawyer thing, and you even switch a word around or a comma here and there because you're listening to the page, and listen to it, it would undo a lot of problems. I think when you're writing from listening, you're solving problems and you're transmuting that which was blocked within yourself or in that relationship with that experience. It's a form of transmutation.
Yeah. See, that right there just made my crazy left brain muse want to come out and play, because she says, oh, so you can solve problems this way. Because she doesn't think like that normally, and that's so beautiful. So this is really for everybody. If you need to write copywriting, or here's a good one. Most of my clients who want to do their own business, they have a really hard time writing a biography. Like they literally would rather do anything else than write that paragraph about themselves. This would be a good class for that, for all of your copywriting, for all of your legal writing, even. Those of you who are in schooling of any sort, and you've got to come up with, like Flower just said, a dissertation or a thesis. And then there's the creative stuff too that's beyond all of that. If you have this passion that you want to bring through the next great American novel during this difficult time on this planet, then this is for you. If you want to perfect your ability to listen and be able to allow words to come through, and sometimes that's going to look like poetry, sometimes it's going to look like an autobiography. Many of you have something and some way that you want to interact with the world that's going to include writing. And you can't really get away with not doing it. You write an email or a text. It's writing, it's movement. And wouldn't it be so cool if we could apply this deeper to, say, texting?
Yeah, that's cool.
Different. The world would look very different if people were texting with this process showing up. It would be very unique. And it's hard for me to imagine what that would look like, but I can feel it. I can feel the heart-centeredness come through about it. Yeah. Are there any final pieces you'd like people to know about you, about the work, about this class, or anything that's showing up?
Well, the one thing that is coming up is that to explain what I do. So, I mean, I have this extra long, super long pencil here. It's even too big. It's like, it's a really big pencil. Basically, when I'm writing, I'm taking the information. It's coming, that is etheric information, and it's basically coming through my pencil onto the page, and it's bringing it into what we commonly call the third dimension, but I don't like those terms, but into your tactile experience, because we don't really know what we're doing. So we're bringing information you can't see and changing it into something you can see. and it's transmuting through this, right? And so this movement is bringing information that is waiting to be brought into this experience. You're in this relationship with this relationship of your experience, and we can share it. And that's what I'm doing. In fact, I don't even need to, I'm not even here. I've asked what my role was. I'm just supposed to write. I don't need to publish or share or teach any of this stuff. I'm just taking information and bringing it into the world. And the very most beautiful thing is when you write a poem or you do anything through this process, not only are you getting it, the whole world is getting it. Even if nobody sees your writing, it is getting weaved in to this experience of all of us together. It's profound, and it actually goes out into the galaxies. You know, it's everything. Poetry is everything all at once. And when we bring it in by listening to our highest self, we're grounding ourselves, we're grounding this new energy into this experience. And it's profound. And I think that's why people have such a huge reaction to my poetry, is because they're like, you know, wow, they're feeling that. And it was all by, you know, it wasn't, I didn't try to do it. So I think people will find it easy to learn because I didn't have to learn it. It just happened. So it just happens. And when you start writing poems, everyone starts writing poems. And then everything wants a poem. Your car wants a poem, your coffee cup wants a poem, everything wants a poem. Everything's kind of a diva. All the flowers want poems. You start listening, you know, the chairs. And the one of the greatest things about knowing how to do this process is you can write amazing thank you notes. You can write beautiful birthday cards. When you need to write a special letter to someone, you know, maybe a condolence letter, you will find the most beautiful words that resonate. If you need to write marketing for your business, you're going to write things that resonate, and you're not going to be searching online for some weird Benjamin Franklin quote or something like that. You're going to have something that really is fresh and unique to you, and it'll speak to the people in your business situations. And that is just, it's everywhere, and you can use it for everything.
Oh, yeah.
People love it. Yeah.
Good.
It's exciting.
Okay, so the live class, when does the live class start? Do you remember?
It'll be on Mondays, August, I think 24th. Was that the date?
I'm gonna check because I'm out of time too, just like you.
I'm a hard person to.
Yes, I see that. On the 24th, so it's Mondays, and it's gonna be at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Is that right?
Yes, and I'm gonna do a free class in the circle about doing one book. We're gonna do a temple book, which is we're going to write. These are really great little books. These are books. You can take one piece of paper and make a book out of it. And we're gonna learn how to write a book. The name of this book that I wrote is called The Four Rooms, The Temple Within Your Greatest Story. And we'll go into your temple. This is what Elizabeth teaches is your temple. So I was inspired by her. And this whole class is inspired by Elizabeth.
Oh,
all of it. So we're working with each other, you know, we're co-creating. So everyone will pick which 4 rooms of their temple they want to write a poem about, and in the end, we'll have a little book. And the cool thing that happened with this is that it kind of turns into a temple when you fold it up. Let's see here. It kind of actually moves into a temple. So we're kind of making a sculpture book that you can use this idea of a book you can make for people, but it'll be free, so you'll see my style if you like it. And if it will be on the same hours that the class will be held on a Monday, the evening, so you can see if that is something that you would be comfortable doing, or you like my style or not. See, before you start.
Good.
So that is
What day were you wanting
I'm
to?
excited.
I forgot.
That is going to be on the 10th.
The 10th, great.
The 10th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for those of you who want to come join the little free class, you're going to want to come into our circle, which can be found at 12starspublishing.com. So that's spelled out, 12starspublishing.com. You can see Flower Diamond's special 6-week course there and be able to join. And if you want to come to the free thing and just test it out, contact us through that website address and we'll help you. And we can check in and see if you want to come join our online community there, which we do a lot of free things like this there. And we connect heart to heart every day. Everybody's on there. And so then, of course, if you like the style of this learning, which I certainly do, because it's so unique and different than my own mindset, so I get to learn something and really nurture that inner muse. If you'd like that, then you can join the 6-week course. And here's the juicy part too. Once the live course is done, it's still going to be available. So you don't have to say like, oh my gosh, I can't do this in 6 weeks in August and September. That's okay. It's still going to be available indefinitely in the Learning Collective. So that's going to be there for you. And in the long run, maybe this comes up in your mind a few months from now, and you're like, I think I really do want to take part in that. You still can. So once it's finished recording during the live time, it's going to be available indefinitely. And that's the beauty of the Learning Collective, is we get to do this work and make it available to you as long as the creator wants it to be. And so any last thoughts, Flower Diamond, for people to walk away with at the moment?
Well, your story is waiting, and your story is built from love, no matter what it looked like or looks like. You are built from love. And you now have the opportunity to learn what that looks like. What have you been building? And explore it.
Thank you. I agree. And I can feel your love and the love of the movement, the love of the process. And we're so lucky that you want to share with us, and that came up as a yes. You are going to share, and then we get to play. So perfect. And thank you all for coming and joining us with this New Earth conversation for our friend Flower Diamond, introducing you to her special heart and this flow, this magical download of relationship and magic and the mysticism and the art of words. But more so the dance, the movement of, and the transmutation that we create with each word that we put down or type or text. So take that to heart today and enjoy absorbing this idea. And now as you speak and you write, you know now what's actually happening, and you get to play from there. Beautiful. Namaste, my friends. I love you.
Thank you. Aloha.
Aloha.
I love you too.